Hello, everyone, and welcome to Core Talks, Core AVI's technical podcast series. I am Olivia Thalasinos, a marketing and administrative co op here. In today's episode, we are going to talk about the experience for co op students by diving into the company culture and why people enjoy working at Core AVI. I am joined by two individuals, Eli Dumper, a machine learning software co op, and Nicole Nassar, a systems and support administrator co op. Welcome, both of you.
Thanks for having us on, Olivia.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm
Exciting.
super excited to talk to you both. So let's start off with Nicole. What are some things that you like about working here?
Honestly, the biggest thing for me is like the office culture and stuff because everyone here is so nice and it's really easy to ask anyone for help or learn things or develop skills that you didn't really come here for your job, but you get to learn things anyway. Everyone's like really opening and welcome and it's a great environment to learn for sure.
That's awesome. Thank you. And Eli, same question for you. What are some of the things that you like about working here?
I kind of wanted to reiterate what Nicole said about the opportunity to reach out to different people in the company. I think that kind of
Mm-hmm.
has to do with the size of CoreAVI. Obviously, it's not a small company, but it's not a large company either. It really feels like everyone who works at CoreAVI is really just a couple clicks away on Teams, and you're able to really contact anyone who doesn't even really have to do with the work that you do, and you can learn as much about any other thing in the company within your team as well. But just the opportunity to connect with lots of different people is fantastic.
I think that's really great. And I think that also relates to the company culture at
hmm
CoreAVI and how it really stands out. My next question would be what stands out about the culture here? And are there any experiences or specific examples that you can share about this? So maybe Eli, why don't you start this question off?
Sure. The people at CoreAVI really make the culture stand out for a couple of reasons, but just from the experiences that I've had is that people who work at CoreAVI are really interested in enriching the company culture and, bringing their own personality and interests into that company culture and really making it their own. Some of the really great experiences I've had here really settle or like central on people coming in and wanting to do things at the office or wanting to have game nights like we had earlier this week. People just bringing in things that they're really interested about and showing them to other people in the company. That really makes things fun and really builds camaraderie too as well. I really like that about the culture.
Definitely. I think it's really, really special. And you can just tell by so many people organizing such fun events for us clubs to do. So
Exactly.
Nicole, yeah, what are your thoughts about the culture here? And do you have any other examples or experiences that you could share?
I mean, not to copy Eli, but like honestly, the same thing. Everyone's just like super nice, super cool. If you want to do something, someone will make it happen. Personally, I was really fond of like our potlucks, kind of because I really love baking, so I was able to share that with other people. And also, we had like when people made food from their cultures and stuff, and that was really neat. And the other day when we were doing a little crash course on what like the QA co-op students did, and then you came and joined us and taught us about like your job and about the company more was a lot of fun. So it's just like little instances of like people being themselves that really bring things together because it's an environment that's like so welcoming and lets people have the opportunity to do that. And it's really neat. I really like it.
I totally agree. I think it's nice just the special moments that we can share in the office sometimes, unplanned or planned, and they're always just really, really fun. So thank you for sharing that. Core AVI is a really, really special place to work at. To you, how does this co-op position stand out in comparison to other experiences that you've had? And just maybe you can share a little insight on that. Nicole, do you want to start us
Sure.
off here?
Guess I've been working and volunteering for a very long time in my life, and this is definitely one of, if not my favorite position I've ever had, because not only am I doing work that I think I'm good at, but I'm also learning things that I didn't think I'd learn in this position, and I thought it'd be like a repeat of stuff I already knew, but I've learned about a lot of things that I wasn't expecting, like what Power Automate is and how it works. And I also got like a crash course in Python libraries just because kind of asked, as well as everyone here is super understanding, especially my boss, and he's always like looking for opportunities for us to learn something new, which is super cool. So like he himself will be sending us like different learning modules and different things that we could just be doing during our like when we don't have anything pressing to do, just to learn more things, which I think is super exciting. And I guess in a lot of positions in the past, I felt very like stuck in a monotonous cycle, and it was very much like there's the full-time workers and then you as a co-op, and you're kind of doing the work that they don't want to do. So it's not really like that here. It's like you're part of the team, which is I think is super nice. And it makes me just happy to be a part of things. And also everyone's really fun to talk to, which is a kind of a standout because at a lot of my other jobs, everyone's just a lot older than me, and I kind of felt like other, but here it's just like nice, even though people are still older than me.
That's awesome. I think I totally can understand that feeling because that's similar to my experiences here as well. Just it really does stand out how welcoming everybody is and how you can just go to any team and talk to anybody. It's really, really special. So, yeah, definitely a
Yeah.
highlight of my previous co-ops. So, yeah, Eli, what do you think about this? How does it stand out to you? What are your thoughts?
The thing that have really stood out to me in this term is just the trust and open-endedness that I've kind of been given within my role. This is the first research team that I've been able to be a part of, and I really, appreciated the opportunity to do lots of different things that I think in previous roles I wouldn't have been given the leeway and trust to do. Like just last week, I got to participate in my first release that went to a customer, and I was a key part of getting that out the door and making sure that what we were releasing was intact and ready to go and had been validated. And that was like actually really meaningful. Like that's going to a company who's going to use that. It's got the CoreAVI logo on it. It represents what we do here, and all of those things are really important. And to be a part of that, and to feel like the work that I get to do here is meaningful, and that people rely on me, and that people respect what I can bring to the table, is just a really fantastic feeling. Not even just within the angle of things that my team obviously wants to progress with, and we want to move forward in with our projects and the research that we're doing, but also just the new ideas. Say any given day I could be looking at something and perhaps have an idea or a new thought about a different direction that we could go in, and my input is respected and is valued. And when we discuss that idea, I've definitely had opportunities to move in different directions within the team because of that, and open up new opportunities for myself, but for also the team. To summarize all of that, being a member of a team in CoreVI, you are a member. You are not just a co-op. It doesn't necessarily mean anything. You are really a full employee, and I think that's what makes this position really stand out.
Definitely. That's so amazing that you had such a integral part in that release and all your experiences because I know that you're a returning co-op student. So maybe you
Hmm.
could quickly just touch on a little bit of why you wanted to return, the previous roles you did, what you've learned over time from being a co-op here.
As an employee, I've really grown up at CoreAVI. I've had 5 co-op terms now, and 3 of them have been within CoreAVI. And a great part of that is I've been able to experience lots of different things, lots of different roles. My personal opinion on how, I wanted to go about my co-op experience was that I wasn't looking to kind of do the same experience over and over again. I wanted to get a breadth of experiences and try as many different things as I can, because I'm not totally settled in a direction that I want to go with my career, and I'm comfortable in that decision, and I wanted to find as many different things as I could and try as many different things as I could. So I was really fortunate that CoreAVI gave me the opportunity to come in. My first role was Nicole's role now, so I got to work with the IT team, which was a fantastic experience. And then I moved to the FAE team. That was also a fantastic experience. But all of those experiences, and including the one now when I'm working with AI and with research, those experiences have been almost completely different. So I've worked in kind of 3 different departments in the company, and throughout that, I've gotten to meet lots of different people, and I've gotten to learn lots of different things. But yeah, I would say in all of that, the real value that Corey gave me was the opportunity to say, we really liked what you did with this team, and we thought you brought value, and we support you in moving to a different area of the company, even though I didn't necessarily have any experience in that new area. They just trusted that because I had shown myself to be valuable to the company, and that I was a quick learner, and I wanted to participate as much as possible. They gave me new opportunities, and they let me grow, and that I'm really thankful for.
That's so amazing that you've had so many different learning experiences and
Hmm.
you really were able to move around and kind of get that exposure as well, all with that at the same place. So that's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
But it's definitely, yeah, it's really made my whole co-op experience.
For sure. I can imagine. That's awesome. So you talk about how this company is so special, both you and Nicole. And I guess what would you say to somebody who doesn't know anything about Core AVI and why is it so special? Why is it so great? Maybe Nicole, you can answer this question first and just give us your thoughts.
I feel like I'm just saying the same thing over again because honestly, the people just make it so amazing. And I feel slightly awkward talking about how amazing people are. Well, Felipe and Ravashi are sitting directly behind me because they are some of the amazing people. But honestly, they just make it such a pleasure to be here and to work and to learn and to just be uh, around people. It's so nice being here. Like some days it just doesn't even feel like work. It's just like I'm coming to learn something and do something, but like I'm getting paid, so that's cool, you know? So it's just I know I keep harping on that, but like it really, really is a thing that makes this core AVI stand out to me because just it's just a job, but the people make it something more than that. They make it like a community. They make it somewhere that's good to be, even if it is a job. It's nice. It's just really nice. And the same thing I said a million times. The people really do make it what it is.
I think that's totally fair to keep reiterating it because it's so true and how that totally makes or breaks your experience at a company and realizing that yeah it is a job but it can still be super super enjoyable because it feels like a community that you can go and talk to people all the time. So I know Eli, you were talking about how you've returned and how much you love it, so anything else to add?
I think that for people who haven't had a co-op at CoreAVI, one of the things I could say that might make you, entice you to coming to CoreAVI or trying to get an experiences here is that the co-op program at CoreAVI is not it's not just another program at another company. Like CoreAVI, I mean this really values its co-op program. The co-op program, it's not an afterthought. It's an active area that the company is trying to grow and to bring value to. And I think you see that, with the things that Nicole has brought up and how she feels that, everyone around her is supporting her. And I feel exactly the same way. And I'm sure you too, Olivia. You're really valued in your role here, and people want you to get the best experience. So I find that people are reaching out to me all the time asking how my term is going, people that I don't even necessarily work with on the day to day. They're curious to see how I'm doing and if there's anything that they can do to help me, which is fantastic. Obviously we're working and we want to help everyone else as much as we can. It almost feels like everyone is trying to work to make your experience better, and that really goes a long way.
That's really great. No, I think that it really does stand out and how amazing it is to work here. And you guys are explaining your experience so well that, yeah, I think you can really show people that it really is different and it's an awesome experience overall. As a co-op, they are meant to be learning experiences. You're learning from your coworkers. I guess could each of you kind of share what you've learned while working here, if there have been any life lessons or maybe career advice from fellow coworkers, things like that that kind of stand out in your experience so far. So Nicole, maybe you want to start us off with this one.
I think I've learned some like actually like technical skills. I've worked a lot more with like Markdown and this thing they use as an extension on Markdown called Lint, which is the bane of my existence, but I've learned it. I've also learned how to use a lot more of like Microsoft's proprietary software, like Power Automate and like SharePoint and stuff. And I had a lot of fun learning how to use Power Automate and automating like our lists and stuff, which I'm hoping eventually gets implemented because I spent a lot of time on it. But it was fun learning how to use those different like softwares and stuff. And I never had really used Markdown, even though it's not like a complicated thing to do. I've never really used it before. So learning how to use that was pretty neat because I just kept wanting to use JavaScript. I was like, I can't be doing that because that's not what we use. I also got more experience using Git. It's just something I was really uncomfortable with using before just because it didn't make sense. Just point blank did not make sense. But I've had to use it a lot more, so I've learned how to use that and how to get more comfortable with as well as Git itself, as well as GitHub. I think also how to use like Linux and Ubuntu because I had to write a documentation on how to set that up, and I've never used Ubuntu before, so that was an interesting experience for me. Took me several days to do something that now takes me a couple hours. So just like lots of skills and stuff, especially through some of my Microsoft's like training stuff. As I said, Felipe like sends that kind of those things to me and the other co-op student, and we just kind of just like mess around with it during times when we don't have stuff to do. So I've just been learning a lot, and it's nice. I really like how much I get to learn stuff here.
That sounds like a lot. I don't even know how many things. That's a lot of new stuff to learn. So sounds like a lot to be jammed in 4 months, but wow, that's great. That's great to hear. Yeah, Eli, why don't you share any mentors, any life lessons that kind of stuck with you?
I mean, tough to follow up Nicole on that one, but I'll try my best. Um, a couple things I think in my career, this is the first term that I've been able to work kind of in the area of AI. That's something that I was really targeting with this role or with this term specifically. I was looking to find a position that would kind of give me an introduction to the AI space. You know, I'm someone that didn't have any experience prior, so I was really coming in with kind of no foundational knowledge. And now I can confidently say, kind of towards the end of my term, that I do have, you know, my foot in the door, and I've started to build a solid foundation in this space. And I feel really good about that. I feel like I've gotten to use lots of new tools. Yeah, I hadn't used PyTorch before. I hadn't used the Hugging Face APIs, which are used for neural networks and for model training. I also hadn't gotten to use Vulkan before, or to use any of the graphics cards at CoreAVI to run CoreAVI's safety critical driver. I've gotten experience with that now, and I feel comfortable being able to, you know, run applications and to validate that the changes my team has made are working, and to, you know, work with the code base for a safety critical product is also really, really cool. I think more on the personal side, on the life advice side, some advice I've been given from my current manager, but also from various people in the company throughout my last 3 terms, has been people really want to hear from you. Don't be shy to reach out to people. It doesn't matter if they're not in your team or if they're really at the top of the company. This kind of goes from the head, from Damien all the way down to, you know, other co-op students. Everyone is available and wants to hear what you have to say. Like, that experience of just being able to ask another person in another role about what their experience is like really is valuable for me as someone that's trying to use co-op to get as many different experiences and get a little bit of introduction to as many different topics as possible. That's been fantastic for me. So yeah, that would be my experiences. Don't be afraid to ask anybody anything.
That's a great way to sum it up. I think that even getting advice from anyone in the company and having like
Hmm.
very relevant experience, they know they've been in your position. So it's always great to hear and get their insights on stuff as well. So I think that's awesome.
A really good point, actually, because
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you how many people I bumped into who actually were Core AVI co-ops, which is cool to see as well, that people do make the leap from being a co-op at Core AVI to working full time, and that's not an unordinary thing to see. And in fact, in the office, like I'm looking around right now, and I think more than half of the people in this office either were in the co-op program or are currently in the co-op program, which is also cool to see.
I totally agree. I think it's really interesting to know how many previous co-ops work there full time now and them going from their experience doing co-op terms here to having leadership positions and different things like that. That's
Yeah,
great.
it is.
Yeah. I think a great way to sum up your term, describe your experience working as a co-op at CoreAVI in 3 words. I know it's not a lot.
I think the first word would be engaging.
Mhm.
And then diverse for sure, just in the breadth of opportunities and experiences that I've been able to have. And then the last one being meaningful, not just for myself, but I think for the company as a whole.
Awesome. I think those are a great summary, especially just like what you've been talking about throughout this call. So, yeah,
Thanks, Olivia.
awesome. And
Now
Nicole,
now I want to steal Eli's words. Those were good words.
Sorry,
Um,
get mine. Can't do it.
um, it's educational, impactful on me for sure.
Mhm.
Um, and I'm gonna steal engaging because it really has been. I get to be involved with things, and I really like that. It's great. I'm so sorry to steal the word.
No worries.
That's okay. If it summarizes it, it works. I totally agree. I think engaging has been the same for me with my experience. There's always something new. I think I've tried a million different new things that I've never had exposure to before. So I would also use engaging. I think that's a great word. So good job, Eli, for coming up with a word that all of us could relate to.
Thank you.
Well, I think overall, you guys did such a great job at explaining your experience as best as you could. Because I think if you're in the office, that's really the only way to understand it, to truly get how this company functions and how they welcome everybody so well and how they really do foster a learning environment, which is awesome. So, anything else you guys want to share before we wrap up today?
Olivia, thank you for having us. This has been a lot of fun. In a funny way, you gave us a new experience. I've never been able to be on a podcast before, so for a first time, this was fantastic. So thank you for setting this up.
Amazing. Thank you.
I feel like I'm copying, but thank you for having us.
I'm so glad you both could join and talk with me today. Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone for listening today. And we're just really excited to have more discussions like this in the future in our next episode of Core Talks. So thank you for listening and have a great day.